Comebacks, curses, and cashing in on potential. 5v5, 0-4, and 2 teams against the world. Finally back to the arenas, back to the fans, back to the hype. We lost some, but gained back others dear to our hearts. June Joust took the momentum of May Melee and delivered seamlessly, culminating in one of the most breathtaking finals in Overwatch League history. Its conclusion not only called the San Francisco Shock's era as the undeniably best team in the game into question.
Guys, I heard Hawaii sucks anyway.
It gave rise to the duopoly that the Shanghai Dragons and the Dallas Fuel have been building for themselves, meeting each other in back-to-back grand finals. Not so fast though, because a lot of the important stuff already happened during the qualifying stages of the tournament cycle. Finally, teams like the Los Angeles Gladiators and the Hangzhou Spark caught up to their potential and played a clean 4-0 stage. The once so dominant Shock did so as well, taking the second seed in the West and therefore getting one bye in the playoff bracket. An obvious advantage, whose curse beggars belief. Continuing the trend of May Melee, no team with a score of 4-0 during the qualifying stages has made it to the Final Four yet. Whether statistic anomaly, intangible benefits, or witchcraft, the scoreline has been haunting top teams in these positions. Equally cursed are the 0-4 back-to-back stages of the Vancouver Titans, the Los Angeles Valiant, and the London Spitfire. At mid-season point, none of them have managed to put wins on the board, and unfortunately, they haven't come very close to doing it this cycle either. Huffing hopium, at least the Titans and the Spitfire have reinforcements to help them get back at it, and have strong finishes to the season. In Spitfire's case, it's their DPS player Sparker, who may just help the team out in a major way.
I think he's massive. I think a lot of people have said it before, but he's super talented. He really can play everything, and I think now add something just in terms of the way we can structure our comps and our teams. I think Shax and Hybrid are both very talented, but talented in niches. Whereas Sparker, I think, can very much be the glue that we put the right pieces behind. We know how good he is. Obviously, a lot of the boys have played with him before. They know how good he is. And also, it just gives us more options. Especially when we go into these hero bans and comps all over the place. Just having all these extra options can only benefit. Obviously, it makes it a bit harder because you've got to try and shuffle 4 players around to figure out who fits best where, but that's a good problem to have, you know?
Separating themselves from the bottom, the Boston Uprising and the Paris Eternal refused to be grouped with the winless and celebrated big victories against teams like the Justice, also catching up to the middle of the pack and keeping themselves in striking distance of season playoff qualification. Better yet, the Eternal even managed to beat their partners in crime for mid-table teams' league points, beating the Uprising in a nail-biter of a match, despite having to drop their off-tank player Alavode on incredibly short notice. How long did you know beforehand that this was going to be required?
Actually, if I'm not wrong, 2 days ago. I mean, Eddie was already in pain. Few matches ago, he was already in pain. But I believe he did keep it for himself to not punish us or anything. So, yeah. But yeah, few days ago, it was not sustainable anymore. So he just decided to stop, and we had to kind of find an off-tank pretty fast. But it was kind of tough.
Similarly, in the East, the NYXL managed to cash in even more of their preseason scrimbux, making it all the way into the top 4 after an upset victory against the Spark. In New York's case, their class of their talented roster has flashed here and there, but has yet to stabilize in consistency, while leaving no doubt that there's more to this team than the mediocre league standing may suggest. However, for the Excelsior to even make the tournament, one unexpected thing had to happen. The Los Angeles Valiant had to win a map against the Philadelphia Fusion.
Over 3 fights, alarming he does. Actually fighting him off the map. Oh, this is it for the LA Valiant Job. We've seen history. They're able to take another map.
Oh boy, they take a map on the Fusion. Their second map, Vicky.
Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, the Fusion let their grip slip on the June Joust playoff qualification. failing to full hold Numbani point A against a team that had, up until that point, only won one map in the entire season. A disappointing turn of events that many fans took badly and cooked up some pasta for the rest of us to enjoy. Joe, did we miss any important topic that came up during June Joust? Joe? Joe was a tank player, and he's gone now.
Overwatch 2 will be played with 2 teams of 5 players, consisting of 2 support, 2 DPS, and 1 tank.
Removing one tank player from the equation will do way more than just getting rid of one guy per team. It fundamentally changes the way the game will be played, with no way of telling yet how well Overwatch 1 skills will transfer over to Overwatch 2. It was a bombshell of a news that had been tinkered with for a while. Expectedly controversial among professional players, some revised their opinion and showed confidence in their ability to adapt.
Yeah, so my first take, I was super sad, of course, because, you know, seeing that it's 5v5, first I was obviously worried, like, oh, you know, maybe I won't be able to play in a 5v5 meta, but I was more concerned about not being able to play with the tank duos that I've always played with. You know, like, the synergy that you build with the main tank and off tank is just, it's kind of what made Overwatch and made it so exciting. Like, even with the supports, it's like if they were to take a support role out, it would just be the same, where it's like, I don't get to ever play with this main support player again, or I don't get to play with this like support player. You know, so it's really saddening just to feel that. But otherwise, I was kind of open-minded after I slept on it, just open-minded how it could change the game. It might balance it out a little bit more, make it easier for the devs. And as a player, I'm very confident in my mechanics and my understanding of the game. You know, so I personally feel like I can learn any character in any role, and if need be, I can just play that and kind of grind it out and figure it out. So I wasn't really worried too much about that. It could possibly be a good change for me because I might even learn more playing solo tank. So I'm just looking forward to it, see how it goes, and I'm kind of excited. You know, but it is still very sad that I don't get to play with my main tank duos anymore.
While the news is likely to have implications towards careers of pro players currently competing, it didn't seem to zap their competitive spirits much. Soon enough, we were back on our tried and true horse of slandering the performance of APAC teams until rudely proven wrong. With the usual Western hubris, the narrative was fueled by the NYXL's unceremonious exit from the bracket. Being clean swept twice in a row?
We won a bit too hard towards the end. It was really easy.
Both the Reign and the Dragons smashed through the Excelsior, with the former looking like the potential tournament favorite after their first round match. However, if one thing has been proven to dominate this season, then it is the ability of teams to adapt with limited time at their disposal, by leaning into their own strength. Qualities which both the Fuel and the Dragons have impressively showcased during the first half of this season. And midway point, the Overwatch League is a duopoly, with 2 incredible teams making the steep and unlikely ascent towards the tournament cycle finals twice. With all the volatility of a few qualifying matches, no double elimination before the Final Four, and the hero pools being thrown at them, both of them prevailed. It therefore seems to be more than a statistical anomaly that the Fuel and the Dragons have made it there once more. Perhaps it's with the wisdom of hindsight that we see these magical plays of the Dragons in a different light. Be it the triple remake kill by Void, the 10 environmental kill map by Lee Jae-gon, and now the final fight in which Lip brought it back from the brink.
Denying the second tournament win here for Dallas, stealing away the crown. They are going to be your June Joust champions.
Almost putting ink to paper, we were ready to write the era of the Dallas Fuel into the history books after their impressive first 2 maps in the grand finals, which appeared to be a straight continuation, the first time they had met in the knockout stages. However, as only reality can believably write it, the turning point of the series was a special one. Fate asked for a fulcrum on which to move the series, and he was given Wrecking Ball, shining bright on the hero pick, and filling the shoes of his predecessor, Fearless. He is very present, silencing the doubter of Fate's quality as a player once more. Almost 4 years into his Overwatch League career. Often down, but never out until the last point is taken. The Dragons have once again demonstrated their incredible mental tenacity. A scary quality on which many esports victories have been built on.
Good team is really just Shanghai. And then when he said that, Rush said, wow, you're really looking down on APAC. And so when we make it to the next tournament, there's a high chance that we will face Shanghai again. So I do agree to that statement, with that statement to the point.
Will the fight of fire and fuel continue at the top? Can these two teams maintain a class of their own? Or will others find a way to enter and make it a trinity? All shall be revealed during the summer showdown of the Overwatch League Season 4.